I now request the guest speaker of the day, Dr. Vanessa Gaitree Gowreesunkar. Before I ask her to start the session, I would like to give a brief profile of the speaker. Dr. Vanessa Gaitree Gowreesunkar is a citizen of Mauritius. She holds a PhD, which cuts across three disciplines, namely tourism, management, communication, and marketing. Vanessa was a gold medalist for her first degree in tourism and hospitality management, following which she was awarded a full funded PhD scholarship to pursue her MPhil and PhD with Oxford Brook University and UTM Mauritius. Dr. Vanessa is an associate professor in cultural tourism, and previously she served as head of the department for the tourism and hospitality at the University of Africa in Nigeria. With over 2 decades of experience in teaching, training, and research, she is recited in various global conferences, webinars, and international fora to intervene a panelist, a chairperson, keynote speaker, and moderator. Vanessa has brought her contribution in a number of international universities institutions. Vanessa is an editorial member in several Scopus indexed and Web of Science indexed journals. She is also a liaison officer for the International Journal of Tourism Cities. Vanessa also serves as an associate editor for the Journal of Media Communication Studies, and she has edited several books related to tourism, culture, and heritage. And recently she has published a book on tourism, particularly focusing on the pandemics, COVID-19 pandemics, and she has also published a policy document, suggestions in the Emerald, that was well recognized by various stakeholders across the globe. And I thank Dr. Vanessa for accepting our invitation, and I now request Dr. Vanessa to speak about the given theme, you know on Indian tourism and sustainability in the pandemic era, a view from below. So this is the topic. I now request Vanessa to start this.
So can you hear me? Am I clear, Dr. Maheshwar?
Yeah, we can able to hear you.
Yeah, because I'm asking because I don't want to have an echo when I will be talking.
Understand.
So I would like to first start by saying that I want to thank the National Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management for thinking of me yet again. I would like to say special thanks to Dr. Mahendra Reddy and Dr. Chinam Reddy for organizing, and the team, of course, for organizing this very important event. I think that it is a very, very important event. I was in India, I even did not think about it, but now I am in Mauritius. I wanted to say that I have been associated with the National Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management for quite a while, probably since 4 to 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. I must say that those who are inside this conference, this seminar, National Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management is doing really well. I think this is one of the very rare institutes in Hyderabad, in Telangana, who is really doing well, according to me. Because I have an opportunity, because before starting the presentation, I think it's important to talk about NITHM, because I had an opportunity to visit many countries, and I had an opportunity to visit many institutions which are delivering tourism courses. I must say that NITHM is a very special one. And NITHM is doing really well. I think that this is the leadership, and this is about the faculty people, and this is about the team. And students who are in this platform just now, I would like to say how lucky you are. You are really very lucky to be part of the National Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management. And this is the thing that I wanted to say. I would like to also extend my greeting to all special speakers, guest speakers. I don't know the names, but I know that there are some people from outside. I would like to say, I would like to extend my greeting to them as well. I can't remember the name. And as well to all the NITHM family. Just like Dr. Mahendra has said to you, today I want to talk a bit about sustainability issues, Indian tourism and sustainability issues, a view from below. So why a view from below? Simply because people generally, they are talking about the common thing about the COVID-19 pandemic, and then about the Delta, and then about the Omicron. So they have been talking bad about it. It's bad because we have got a very big kick from the COVID-19, and the Indian tourism industry, the global tourism industry, they are suffering a lot. To start with, I think Dr. Mahendra has already given a description of me. Still, I would like to
keep in slideshow mode, no ma'am.
Is it working? Can you see Dr. Mahendra?
Please keep in slideshow mode.
No, it is visible, but keep in the slideshow mode.
Okay, how do you do that?
Yeah, go down.
Down.
Yeah, the same
okay?
thing. Yeah, fine. Perfectly all right.
Oh. Okay, but then this is happening. You see, I was not expecting to have these animations, but it's okay. We have got some animations, and it shows my different roles internationally and also in India. Now, let's talk about what I'm supposed to talk. So tourism status in India, once upon a time. I'm not going to read all the slides like we have in the lecture. All that I want to say is that the summary of the slide. Can you hear? Is it okay, Dr. Mahendra? Is it okay?
We can hear.
Yeah, because I can hear some voices. I think probably people should mute because there are some interference of voices and noise. I was saying that once upon a time, tourism was a booming business. In fact, before 2019, and we all know, especially that we have an Indian audience right now, we all know that tourism was doing really well in India. And we all know about the culture, the heritage, historical developments of India, the history of India, religious tourism, natural nature tourism, ecotourism. India was something, it was wow tourism industry.
National tourism.
And domestic tourism, I'm sorry, I'm having a little laugh because I can't understand what they are saying. I think it's a different language. So domestic tourism was a key segment contributing to the overall industry. We all know about it. And you can see in my slide, I have given some statistics. For example, it was, and it still, I think, contributes immensely to the country's GDP. And also you have some figures here, as you can see. It contributes around 10%, 275 billion US dollar. We convert it in Indian rupees, it's lots of money. It's crore, I think, lakh crore, I don't understand. And you can see here, foreign exchange earning during 2019, 210,981 crore. I don't know this amount, but I know it's a big amount of money. Culture and heritage in India have always been important pull factors for centuries. And of course, you know that in India, we have got 38 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. You correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have got 30 sites, cultural sites, natural sites. We have got so many things. And you see a report from the World Travel and Tourism Council 2022, which states that cultural tourism generates around 40% of employment, and 20% of worldwide tourism trips comprise culture, heritage, and historical activity. But this is a very good news for India. It's a really very good news for India because India is one of the rare countries where we have a combination of everything. And just like Dr. Chinam Reddy was saying in his speech, that there is a village in Telangana. I can't remember the name because it's a very typical local name. That village is interesting because this is only the tip of the iceberg. I am sure that just like in Telangana, there are so many villages in other states also, and they are very good for tourism. But unfortunately, as you are aware, that COVID-19 pandemic has changed everything. And this is why we are going to see what it is all about from a view from below. So we are going to see the other side of the coin because all the people, they are talking bad about, the pandemic, The pandemic has done this, the pandemic has done that, the pandemic has penalized, has closed borders. We have so many stories about this. Now, just some, some points, some good points about tourism in India. You would see that earlier, even now, we had so many things regarding the jobs in the tourism sector. And you see the salary. It was quite good. It was decent salary. And we have so many possibilities for the tourism industry. And you know that in India, we are working a lot to generate employment. This is just some examples. And then examples of industries from India, as you can see, it's a long list. So unlike the other sector, tourism sector is different because, for example, if you want to work in the agricultural sector, it's about agriculture only. But when we talk about tourism, it's different. There are so many other sectors which are attached to the tourism industry, which means that when you're following a course at NITHM on tourism, it doesn't mean that you will just be confined to only one type of job. You have the possibilities of even working in the hospitality industry, restaurants, F&B. You can even work in entertainment sector. So the institution is forming you, is training you in many, many, many aspects of the tourism industry. And this is a very good news. Now, after the COVID-19 pandemic, what has happened during and after? So the entire tourism industry has come to a standstill. We all know about it. We have lost jobs. There were closure of borders. There were no travel. Livelihood of people was so dependent on tourism, and they lost their job. And hotel bookings were cancelled. Taxis had no tourists to transport. Shops were closed. So it's such a bad picture of everything. After the COVID-19 pandemic and during the COVID-19 pandemic, and even a bit now, we are still facing those problems. Now, because this seminar is about sustainability, it's important to talk about sustainability as well. We cannot not talk about sustainability. And we all know when we talk about sustainability pillars in general, and even for tourism in India, we are driven by the economy, the society, the environment. But we have something additional, culture. So culture is very important in India because if we remove culture from India, India would be a plain country. And the beauty and the uniqueness of India is described by its culture, by its heritage, by its beautiful society. It's a colorful society. We have got so many different states, so many different types of tourism to offer. So it's a lovely country. So this is about sustainability. Now, after the COVID-19 pandemic, well, we are still navigating in the bad water of the pandemic. So we were saying that it's important to take care of ourselves, of the way we are conducting business. For example, we all know that physical distancing is important. I am not going to use the word social distancing. Probably you might be aware that these days, when we are talking about social distancing, there is something called ethical issues, which is being questioned. Because when we talk about social distancing, especially in India, we have got the issues of ethnicity, caste, or whatever. So sometimes people are misinterpreting. They are saying, no, we should not use social distancing. We should use physical distancing. Because when we talk about COVID-19 pandemic, it's about maintaining physical distance, not social distance. So physical distancing, we say, and then we have to wear masks. And when we are talking about, then we are talking about vaccination, about mitigation, about information, about collaboration, so many things. We all know there is nothing new. Whatever I'm saying to you, there is nothing. We all know about this story. But the difference in this presentation is that we are going to see under, you're going to try to see the view from below. And here I'm talking about the shining view from below. It's not simply a view, but a shining view. And you can see the stars here and there. It's shining. So I want to say that with the COVID-19 pandemic, it is true, we have suffered. But somewhere, it has also opened our eyes. It has also shown to us that we can treat the tourism industry from a different perspective without disturbing here and there, without being in the rat race. Because earlier, before the COVID-19 pandemic, We were so in a rat race competition. We need to have maximum tourists in our country. Whether the resources are being depleted or not, we need to have our tourists. We need to maximize in our business. We need to have our money. We need to have profitability. And we have the tendency to overlook the locals. We have the tendency to overlook the benefits that can go to the local as well. So this is something which is good, which has happened probably, I would say, with reservation, of course. The shining view from below is that India still has that promising cultural tourism industry, despite being hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. And I must congratulate the government of India. I should congratulate the government of Modi ji for doing so much for the tourism sector. I feel so lucky. I think just like me, I am not Indian, but still I applaud, I really appreciate the way the Indian government is treating the tourism sector. Probably Mauritius should also take it as an example. So many initiatives is coming from the government of India. And I can see that NITHM also, just like many other institutions, they are following those instructions from the government. For example, we are celebrating the, how do you call that? The Utsav, well, I can't remember, it's an Indian, I'm talking about the 75th anniversary. Amrit Utsav, or I can remember just two words. So I'm talking, yes, I'm talking about this. I'm saying that just like other institutions, NITHM has followed the instruction from the government, and NITHM is also contributing to this laudable initiative of the government of India about celebrating, commemorating the 75th anniversary independence of India. And you see, in this slide, you're going to see, we are saying that shining view from below. What is shining now? Ministry of Tourism report says that India's rich cultural, historical, religious, and natural heritage provides a huge potential for development of tourism and job creation in the country. It is really very true, but with the COVID-19 pandemic, somewhere people were a bit threatened. They were feeling intimidated. They were thinking that what will happen to the tourism industry. I can remember that in 2019, when I was in Nigeria, I was talking to Dr. Mahendra Reddy because he has contributed in one of the books he has been mentioning. We were discussing, and according to what he was thinking, he was saying, and even other people which I have been contacting, I think the tourism industry will be finished now. We will no longer have any tourism industry anymore. It's going to finish. Everything will be finished. But you see what has happened? Things have changed. People's perspective have changed. And at that time, I was saying, no, probably we will need to develop the coping capacity. We cannot close an industry like this. And this is what is happening exactly. This is exactly what is happening. We will have to develop our coping capacity. And I think that probably India, probably NITHM, or probably the Telangana state, whatever I can see for now, they are providing very good examples to the whole Indian country, whole India, that yes, tourism is coming back, is bouncing back. And cultural tourism permeates across a whole cultural ecosystem, sustaining employment around cultural natural sites. So students who are listening to me just now, you should not be disappointed. You should not be discouraged. You will have your job in the tourism industry. Just see how many incentives government are providing for the tourism sector. Government of India incentives for cultural tourism, for example, Swadesh Darshan scheme, Deko Apna Desh scheme. So these are the schemes. And when we talk about schemes, it's not just on a paper. They are giving money, they are funding schemes so that institutions like NITHM, institutions like, for example, my own university, Anand University in Gujarat, and Delhi University, Jamia Millia University, and so many other universities in India, and other institutions, they are trying to train the student in such a way that they are able to work in an industry post-pandemic. This is what is happening, and this is the shining view from below. So I will share other things. As you can see here, I cannot, because of the view, let me change that. You can see here, The government of India is also giving incentive for tourism stakeholders, tourism operators. There is a National Tourism Award. And then there is Deco Apna Desh. I just said it. Swadesh Darshan report I mentioned. Now there is something new. This is on the occasion of the 75th anniversary, independence, I want to say, 2022 Visit India year. So the government is going to make 2022 the Visit of India year. And they're going to provide lots of initiatives, lots of incentives to encourage people to travel to India, even from outside, not only for domestic, but international tourism. So you would see here still the view from below, incentives. I write it here. For example, you would see that the government is giving people, travelers, incentive to explore India. And there is other initiative, as you can see here, to encourage more of domestic tourism. I talked about the National Tourism Award. We have a travel agent and for travel agents and tour operators. Students of, for example, here, also this is another example. And you would see the Swadesh Darshan report here, all the details on this website. Now, still talking about the view from below, when we are talking about those schemes, this is the places in India regarding the Deco Apna Desh. There is an incentive to visit those places. And people who are visiting those places, they are benefit, they probably will pay less. There are some more information about it because it has changed a bit. So the scheme is envisioned to synergize with other government India schemes. So the government of India, when they are working on the post-pandemic tourism industry, when we are talking about the Deco Apna Desh scheme, the Swadesh Darshan scheme, it also goes in line with Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Skill India, Make in India, etc. And these are other schemes from different sectors. Why it is happening? It shows to you that when you are in the tourism sector, it doesn't mean that you're just secluded in the tourism sector. You have no other place to go. No, there are so many other openings. So students who are listening to me, just you have to say yourself that you are at the right place. If you're following a tourism program anywhere, whether at NITHM or in other place, you are at the right place and you are in the right sector. Because tourism sector is not only about tourism, it's also about other sector. It gives you openings to other sectors, entrepreneurship, agriculture, architecture and design, so many things. Let's stop moving. Yeah. So I'm still talking about the government of India incentives. There are more incentives, for example, launching of a mega plan to boost sectors to major historical attractions. They are also going to work on Indian diaspora. And all government of India ministries and departments are requested to come up with the action plans of incentive and events, which means that it's coming from up, that all the departments, ministries, they are supposed to come up with a plan to support the tourism sector. Now the view from below, we are talking about the job prospects now. Of course, I will come a bit on sustainability as well, because I know that the conference is a bit on sustainability. So jobs for tourism management graduates in India is growing at a steady pace. Steady means stable. And these are some of the statistics which shows that India is indeed giving a lot of incentive for tourism. Again, I'm talking about the incentive because this is the major thing which is happening, especially when we are talking about the 75 independence. So there is a new tourism policy, 2021-2025. And the industry has the potential to generate employment, which means that skill development will be seen as a crucial factor in India's transformative vision of becoming an upper middle income country by 2035. So this is not the new thing, rather, this is the shining things that is happening. And this implies that the tourism sector is emerging in India and tourism education is promising. So this is the good news for the students who are listening to me just now. Now, we will talk a bit about sustainability issues now. It's important to talk about sustainability issues. When we are talking about the view from below, we have been talking about the shining things. There are some other things that are not too shiny for now, but it's happening. For example, when we are talking about tourism post-pandemic, we are concerned about sustainability issues, about the visibility of India as a tourism destination, about marketability, about profitability, because we are not going to run an industry for free. Don't forget that we really need to be sure that we are also a profitable industry. So we are still like having issues like limited and scarce tourism resources, competition and competitive resources, climate change, global warming, host community share, terrorism, collaboration difficulties, lack of skills, technology and globalization, marketing and promotion. But all these issues, they might be resolved. They are being resolved little by all those incentives that are being offered by the government of India and the Ministry of Tourism for the whole country. And when we are talking about sustainability issues, by the way, I think that the COVID-19 pandemic has been a very important event which has helped in terms of sustainability, especially that I was reading some reviews on India and I realized that there are many zoos in India. They are having breathing space. There are places, lakes. They have become cleaner. The water is clearer in Varanasi, in Ganga, which means that there is less of pollution because people who were supposed to stay at home, they have diminished and reduced their tourism activities, which means that those places, they have got a breathing space and they are now refreshed and they are ready to welcome tourists. So I was also reading another important research paper on India because I feel that Indians are the best people to understand India. So this is a paper from authors from India, and they come up with a new framework to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. They call that the Respond Framework. And you would see it's coming from Pandey and et al., Pandey and others. So you see that we have to, if we want Indian tourism to be back, we need to restore travel, which is true. We need to establish protocols. We all know about it. We need to stimulate demand. This is what we are doing. We are promoting coordination. This is what we are doing. Operationalize the new normal. This is being done. Nurture new options. This is being done, and develop digital solution. I think this is a very good framework, which I really appreciate, and it covers all the aspects of tourism, like bouncing back tourism in India. And also, when we are talking about a view from below, I think this is not really a view from below, but the only thing is that there is something new which has been added probably. It's the Tourism Policy 21 following 2021, I would say, because of all the stuff of COVID-19. The Indian tourism was already guided by those mantras: Swagat, Suchana, Suvidha, Suraksha, Sahyog, Saranchana, Safai. So I think these are, you can see in English, in inverted in bracket, what they mean. And in pandemic, there are new things that we need to consider, and they have put Safai. I think Safai is cleanliness. And anyway, when we talk about Safai, we are talking about sanitization, we are talking about information, precaution, education, vaccination. So these are the things that have to be considered. And we have Sankalp. This is what I wanted to say. Sankalp is I don't know what is Sankalp. Sankalp is a Indian Sanskrit word. Sankalp, I think, means a promise. So you have to promise yourself that you have to get your mask, you have to get vaccinated, and all those COVID-19 things. Yeah, this was the thing that I wanted to say. Now, the view from below, when we talk about sustainability, there is a reality that we need to understand. Whether it is COVID-19 or there is no COVID-19, there is a reality, an ongoing reality regarding sustainability issues. And this story is about sustainability issues is debated in all spheres, despite being one of the least understood concepts. When we talk about sustainability issues, people know that we need to sustain the industry. We need to protect the industry. We need to set parameters for the industry. We need to say that we do not want too many tourists. We want this number of tourists. Or we want people to visit that place only 2 times a day. So there are parameters that we set when we talk about sustainability issues. But unfortunately, sustainability issues cannot be standardized. Sustainability issues in India is not the same as sustainability issues in Mauritius. Mauritius is a small island. We have 1.3 million people, and we are not able to have so many tourists at the same time. So the sustainability issues and parameters in Mauritius will not be the same as sustainability issues and parameters in India. India is a very big country. Taking Telangana in itself, Hyderabad only, I think we need so many Mauritius to make one Hyderabad. So just imagine how different it is. So that is the reason why sustainability issues is still something which is debatable and questionable. And we have Code 2005, who says that sustainability is not determined by a single component, but depends largely on all determining factors surrounding the industry. So which means that when we talk about sustainability issues in tourism, for example, in India, we need to take into account so many other issues. It's not going to be just specific issues that the economy, the society, and the environment, just like I said earlier. It's also about other things now. It's about the COVID-19 pandemic. It's about businesses. It's about so many other things. It's no longer just all those three things. And sustainability and tourism can never be seriously joined. When we talk about sustainability and tourism, it's something which is very difficult. I will give you a simple example. You want to promote your tourism industry. If you want to promote your tourism industry, it means that you want to attract tourists. So if tourists comes to your place, what are you going to do? Are you going to tell the tourists, come and stay in my home? You cannot do that. You are going to have to build hotels. Now, to be able to build hotels, what are you going to do? You will identify sites. For example, just like Dr. Chinam was saying, that village which is being Chinam, but no, I don't know what he said. Well, I don't know the name of the village. That village, it's a village. It's lots of trees. So I'm sure that you will have to cut down those trees to be able to build a hotel. So which means that from one side, you want to promote tourism. From another side, you will have to destroy the environment a bit. So that is why we say that sustainability and tourism can never be seriously joined. Just like we say that we cannot make an omelette without breaking the egg. Exactly, when you want to develop tourism, you will have to deplete a bit. There is no development without depletion. It is not possible to develop without depleting. So that is the reason why we say that sustainability and tourism is something which is very slippery topic. There is lots of debate into that. There is no possibility of developing without depleting, and sustainable development cannot be considered to be achievable. We can never say that we have achieved sustainable development. It never happens. You will always be some sectors. I want to say that you will always be hitting some sector when you're developing, but then you have to make sure that how you can give a kind of remuneration, how you can give some kind of incentive. For example, if you're developing a hotel, you should be able to give incentive to the locals. You give them some job. So that is why when we talk about sustainability, when we say sustainable, is cruel kindness, which means, you know what is cruel? Cruel means being very bad, and kindness means being very good. So it's cruel kindness. At the same time, it's cruel. At the same time, it's kind. And we talk about development, make haste slowly, which means that we are telling you, run very quickly, but a bit slowly. Come on, run quickly, but a bit slowly. Make the race, but a bit slowly. So it is the business of everybody and nobody when we talk about sustainability issues. This is the reality which is ongoing even after the COVID-19 pandemic. So I will not take too much of the time now. We have a concluding remark. The outlook for tourism is not uncertain in India, and recovery is taking place. Based on all the incentive that we are getting from the government of India and even from institutions like NITHM and all the educational institution and support institution, tourism is not uncertain. And the government of India effort to bring back tourism is paying dividend already. Already we can see lots of things happening in India. Collaboration between stakeholders and countries are key. This is very important. Sustainability is the key. This is very important. That is the reason probably why it's important to always stress on sustainability. We need to remind people about the sustainability thing. And you have something, oh my God, I have to go up. Yeah, Mahatma Gandhi ji has said something. I have watched the cultures of all lands blow around my house, and other winds have blown the seeds of peace. For travel is the language of peace, which means that according to Mahatma Gandhi ji, travel is the language of peace. And when we talk about travel, we cannot talk about tourism because travel and tourism works and walks hand in hand. So indirectly, Mahatma Gandhi is saying to people that you should indulge in tourism. And also, there is another reality we should always remember whenever we are talking about tourism and sustainability. We have a curse on the tourism industry since such a long time. Just see, Karl Marx in 1965, he said that tourism industry contains its own seeds of destruction. And Jafari said that tourism is a double-edged sword, which means that it cuts from both sides. Just like in India, we say it is a mithi churi. Mithi churi. Mithi churi means a sweet knife. So tourism is mithi churi. I hope that I've said it well. And also myself and my colleague Serafin, we believe that tourism has a Janus-faced character. It's double-faced, which means that, you know, people in India, they talk about in-laws. When they talk about the serials, they talk about in-laws, kyukisas, bahuti, things like that. And we talk a lot about the double face. Oh, look at her, she's a double face. Look at him, he's talking like this, and then at the back is something else. So tourism also is the same story. It's a double-faced story. So from one side, you see the good side, and then from another side, you would see that it's cutting you like anything. And of course, we cannot forget that COVID-19, Delta and Omicron, and I don't know what's going to happen later on. We will have other virus attacking us, but I'm sure that people are being very wise now. They know how to cope with those, how do you call that, pandemic. And I would say, just like I think Dr. Chinam also said the same thing, every cloud comes with a silver lining, which means that despite that pandemic or whatever pandemic which will come afterwards, we feel that tourism in India will be back, more refreshed and more renewed than ever. And this is what I wanted to share with you. And that's it. I hope that if you have understood what I wanted to say. And if students, they have a question, I'm around to answer your question. I will do my best to answer your question. And I would like to thank you for your attention for that long presentation. Thank you. So I hand over to Dr. Mahendra Reddy, probably.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vanessa. And you know, it was a wonderful session. It was good to hear about your perspective and remarks, particularly about the significance of tourism in India, impacts and implication of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, and also importance of sustainability in that regard, and most importantly, providing your perspective on the shining view from the below, in which several aspects, particularly the government of India schemes, and also the incentives and the policy perspective, particularly the skill development related aspects, and most importantly, the sustainability challenges in order to promote tourism and also the restart tourism. What are the issues and challenges, and how we can go ahead with that? So these things, you covered, and these are very important things, I feel, and we are happy to have you on this platform, particularly to talk about these things. So with this, I now request any students, if you have any questions, you are welcome to type your questions in the chat box, or otherwise also you can ask maybe by switching on the mic, and you can ask that. The best way would be just to type in the chat box. Any questions, students?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is tourism students are required to know about the risk management in the tourism industry, like how to mitigate the risk that will arise in the tourism industry in upcoming time, and how we can mitigate it so that the tourism industry will not face any losses in upcoming time?
Yeah, Vanessa ji.
Yes, Manthan, Pratik, Manthan. Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
for this question. I'm sure that your question will be helpful to many other students. Indeed, yes, this is why we are talking about the post-pandemic industry. It's important for you to know, and I'm sure that in your programs, tourism programs, in fact, in all tourism programs, we talk about the management of tourism industry. So now what is happening? In all the programs, we are revising the programs. We are putting things like pandemic things, how to manage tourism in the pandemic context. And it's important for students to know about it. And it's important to know how you're going to, for example, if you're working tomorrow as a manager in a tourism industry, for example, in the hotel sector, you should make sure that you will have a team working under you. If you don't have the knowledge how to manage tourism in a pandemic context or any other unexpected context, so how you are going to survive in your place where you're working. So you don't need to worry at all, Manthan, because we have taken all the precaution to, not precaution, I would say, we are taking all the necessary steps to make sure that the programs that all the educational institutions are offering, they are including that tourism management post-pandemic. And also, I'm sure that as a student, you're encouraged, even your friends, I always encourage you to read a lot, just to read, because it's going to help you. It's important to know what is happening outside. It's important to know what is happening in India. It's important to know what is happening in other states. So this is going to help you and make your knowledge even more so that you can be the best manager in tourism. So you don't need to worry at all, Manthan. I'm sure that NITHM is revising the programs, and you will get an opportunity to know more about how to mitigate the tourism industry. And of course, just like I said in my PowerPoint presentation, that vaccination is important, information is important. And when we talk about mitigation strategies, how to reduce, you have to control, for example, physical distancing, sanitizing, make sure that all your personnel are vaccinated, make sure that you give information to the tourists, the number of tourists that can visit a place, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, and make sure that they are aligning with the government, whatever regulations and rules that are provided by the government. I hope that I'm answering to your question, Manthan.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, great.
Thank you, Dr. Vanessa ji. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Good morning, sir, and good morning to the Dr. Vanisha, ma'am. This is Vinayak Reddy. So my question is, first of all, thank you for giving the explanation about brief explanation about cultural tourism and heritage tourism in Indian perspective and around the world, and about the tourism. Apart from this, my query is like, what is the scope for business travel or business tourism, and also event tourism across the globe, and especially in India? Can you please elaborate, madam?
Yes, of course. And I think this is also a very good question, and it gives an encouragement to others to know what might be happening and what is happening. Just like during my presentation, I have stressed a lot on the incentives provided by the government of India. You know, this is a responsibility of the government of India to make sure that little by little we start getting back on track. And this is happening in India. So personally, if I were a tour operator or a travel agent and I had my private business, what I would have started doing is I would have tried to see what are the incentives that are provided by the government. I would have tried to take advantage of those schemes. For example, if there is a meeting, there is some kind of travel thing that is being given. You see the list that I have shown to you, all those places that need to be visited. And you should, like, for example, if you're a private company, try to link up with your local tourism authorities and try to see how you can promote your business. And also very important, if you have a website, you should know how you're going to write a new narratives for your tourism business. And the new narratives should be written in such a way that you give assurance to the travelers. Because when travelers will travel to India, they want assurance. They want to make sure that when they are traveling to India, they are safe. They don't want to come to India and get COVID or whatever. So this is from your side. You should make sure first that you are being in touch with what is being given in terms of incentives. Second, try to capitalize on them. Try to see, if you see even that your business is not falling under those schemes, go to them, approach them and tell them, see, this is my business. And how come that my business is not able to get any benefit from that? Please do something for me. So you need to reach out. You need to make your steps. You need to make the first steps. And you need to be very much getting involved with what the government of India is doing. Try to do that. It's important because they are providing incentives. I feel very confident and very hopeful for the tourism industry in India. And especially just now, this year, 2022 is a very special year. The government is saying that this is going to be the Visit India year. So if you say Visit India year, it means that you will provide incentives. So if you have your small business, try to approach them and say that, you know, in the context of the Visit India year 2022, so please tell me how can I benefit from that? So I feel that this is something you have to be proactive. Things are here, but we need to be proactive and see how we can benefit from whatever they are giving us in terms of incentives. And outside also, in the global situation, you don't need to worry. All the countries, just like in India, all the countries, they're trying to treat their own tourism industry. And everybody, they are very desperate to come back on track. All the countries, they are like in a competition, not with each other this time, in a competition to start the tourism industry. This is something different this time. And they are ready to collaborate. They are really ready to collaborate in terms of, like, for example, clustering and other things.
National Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management, nurturing excellence, serving success.